Hello there. Welcome to Teachers Change Lives podcast, your weekly reminder that teaching is the most important profession of them all. I'm Shaz Angel, Principal of Mastery Schools Australia in Queensland, and this is my good friend William White, who is an English and Geography teacher at Lauriston Girls' School in Melbourne, Australia. Thank you for tuning in.
Good morning, Mrs. Angel.
Good morning, Mr. White.
How you doing?
Oh, fabulous, living the dream, all of the good stuff.
All of the good stuff. Yes, absolutely. Excited to be back. It's all happening.
It is hot in Queensland right now. There's a cyclone forming off the side. It may, by the time this goes to air, the cyclone might have crossed the eastern coast of Australia, and it is steamy. So there is all kinds of issues with electricity right now.
What's going on?
Well, number of schools around, we hit 40 degrees today, which...
Geez, that's hot for Brisbane. Brisbane's very humid as well, so it's very, very hard to get super high temperatures like that.
It is.
Wow.
Hot, hot, hot. And a couple of schools around us lost electricity today because everything overheated and shut down. And in fact... I thought at my home, because I'd heard that the electricity had been going off in a number of places, and then I get a message from my husband. He says, "Where is it? He says, "No." My son goes, "The fridge isn't working," and then Zabe goes, "The safety switch has gone out." And so I thought, everything's overheated. But turns out that's not the case, because my husband got home shortly later, found the cause of the safety switch. Our son, who's just he's experimenting with some new cooking techniques. He's learned how to make a toasted cheese sandwich now at 13. So he apparently had cooked through the power cord on the sandwich press.
Oh, geez.
Yep.
You don't put the power cord in the sandwich press. Salami, yes. Tomato sauce, of course. Cheese, damn right. You don't put the power cord.
No. I'm assuming it got caught up somewhere underneath, and sizzled out. Anyway, he's
Did
still
it ruin
kicking.
The sandwich?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to catch up with what he ate after that, but apparently the fridge had gone off, so I don't know how much food we need to throw out.
No.
The joys of having children.
Oh, goodness me.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about my woes and the stinky fridge that I have. We're here to talk about, over the holidays, we went to iFly.
Yeah, so we spoke a bit last week about our holidays, but we held a little nugget back. In fact, it's a big nugget. We went to iFly. iFly is awesome. Tell us what it is, Shaz.
Well, so it's this fabulous thing where it's like skydiving without having to jump out of a fully functional plane, but you kind of levitate in air and get that the drop feeling that you get when you have actually skydived, and you get that free floating feeling.
Yeah, that free falling sensation. So
free
it's like they bill it as indoor skydiving.
Yes.
So you're in a tube, and there's for us beginners, there was a teacher in there with us, and there are turbines that pump this wind up. So it is like you're falling.
Yeah.
But it's really, really, really cool. It was
so cool.
It was so much fun. Cool.
And I was smiling, and because I was smiling and the air was there was a lot of saliva coming out of my face, and it was worth every single drop of it. It was so great. We took our partners along, and one of our other guests that we interviewed, Adam Shepherd, actually suggested that we do this. Yes. And so we went to the Brisbane one, and at Stafford, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. But the weird thing was, we went to the desk and we said, we're here for this, and we asked if we could do a little bit of a promo recording. And the lady at the desk, and because we're doing Teachers Change Lives podcast, and the lady at the desk, lo and behold, she was a teacher. And so Kristina Hicks has been a teacher. She's also got this amazing skydiving experience and story, and she's a world record holder. and they also do amazing STEM opportunities at the iFlyers around Australia.
Yes.
And so we thought that we would interview her and find out a bit more about her teaching career that is obviously continuing as the STEM coordinator at iFlyers around Australia.
Yes.
So stick around right now and listen to our really cool interview after we'd had our little adrenaline rush experience of having an iFly fly.
That's what it is, an iFly fly.
With iFly. Oh, geez. All right. Anyway, this is Kristina Hicks. Enjoy. All right, you are listening to Teachers Change Lives podcast, and we very excitingly are all in the same room today with the person that we are interviewing.
First time.
First time?
First time it's happened.
And I was just saying that it's going to be very exciting because now I can actually hit Whitey when he says something stupid. I haven't had the opportunity to do that. So
it's not easy to do on the internet.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, but most excitingly, we have joined today with a fellow teacher, Kristina Hicks. Welcome to Teachers Change Lives.
Thank you very much.
We are super excited to share your story today and how you became a teacher, how you were affected by teachers, and the really cool things that you are doing now. Mm-hmm. So kick us off with, where did you go to school?
I went to Nambour Christian College for my high school up on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, but I did go through Victoria system at Queenscliff and Leopold Primary School down there, so a bit of a mix.
Fabulous.
So I started in Vic and then finished in Queensland.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And where did you go to university?
University of Queensland here in St Lucia, so I did a dual degree, Bachelor of Science and Education there.
Wonderful. And tell us what you are doing now. What is your current career path?
So I do substitute teaching now, but I'm the National STEM Coordinator for iFly Australia, so I manage the STEM programs at Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth tunnels across the country.
Very cool, very cool. Can you tell us a bit about iFly for those of us who don't know? We do, because we just had
we're still flushed with the excitement.
The adrenaline is still high. Yes. Can you tell us about iFly?
Yeah, sure. So we're an indoor skydiving company, so we have wind tunnels to give the experience of flight for those that may be a bit scared to jump out of a plane. But we do offer from age 3 to 103, we say, for that. So you can come in and experience what it's like to actually free fall, especially if you're trying to figure out if you want to go skydiving. It's a really good taster. And then my role with the company is obviously the educational component. So I want students to come in and have the excursion of a lifetime. So they come in, learn about the science and technology, engineering and maths about the tunnel, but I'm also exploring more of an engineering focus and sort of biology and biomechanics as well. So,
and is that at all of those sites that you manage?
Yes.
That they all have the same programs?
Yes, we do.
That's
so
wonderful.
Nationwide, it's all based on ACARA achievement standards. So my aim is for the artifacts that I've created, they can be used by teachers to show competence for those achievement standards. So it is designed for teachers by myself, who is a teacher, and always updating with new curriculum that comes out, making sure that we're adhering to that.
So cool. And we just had a look at it just before as well, and it's absolutely legit. It's heaps of fun. After our flight instructor took us in and did some really cool things with water and
ball demo and everything.
The
Turn
water
the light off and everything.
The water one was amazing.
Yeah.
So literally, so we're all in there, and there's a water bottle that's just been poured out, and there are bubbles everywhere, like water bubbles everywhere.
Yeah,
it's really sort of cool. Like the way that we finish off an excursion. So depending whether you have 10 up to 80 students come in, that's sort of how we collect everyone at the end. Once they've had like their educational and flight experiences, we get them all gathered, turn the lights off and make it magical with the ball demo and the water at the end, and they're like, woo!
That's so cool. super cool.
Brilliant.
So let's take it back a bit. So you became a teacher, but let's talk about your school experience. So have you had a teacher who really made a big impact on your life?
Oh, absolutely. Mrs. Haynes. So Mrs. Caroline Haynes, she was my biology teacher.
Awesome.
And I never had a teacher that just made learning fun. And she was quite just always professional, but just delivered it in such a confident and easy manner. So especially with biology, like you can deal with some sensitive topics and fields in that, but she just dealt with it like a pro. And it was actually interesting, when I was at uni, I actually was doing my education degree with her daughter.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she was actually there at the graduation ceremony, and she was like, "Hi, Kristina." I'm like, "Oh."
So she knows obviously then that
Yes.
you graduated,
Yeah.
and did you have an opportunity to tell her the impact that she had on...
I did find her on Facebook and did send her a message,
Oh,
because I
good
think
for you.
often teaching's a thankless sort of career sometimes, but I did say to her, look, it was because of you that I actually decided to become a teacher, because I always wanted to do something with science. So it was either med school or teaching, and I was like, oh, I don't think I can do the years of prolonged years of study. But every time I went into a classroom and was like challenged with the topic, I'd be like, I did think, how would have Mrs. Haynes done this?
Oh,
Like, so
that is
yeah,
really cool.
That's really cool. Shout out to Mrs. Haynes.
Yes, absolutely. We will try to
Fantastic.
find her. Well, once this episode drops, you need to try to find her and tag her so that she knows that she's yet again being named and famed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So how long did you teach in classroom for?
Yeah, I taught full time for 10 years. So I finished the last 4 as a head of department of science.
Yep.
And then found the world of skydiving. So I'm actually a skydiving competitor now, which is why I do substitute teaching. So I've done a few contracts here and there, like at state schools, Catholic schools, independent schools. I've done the whole variety. So I have no preference. I think there's pros and cons in every system.
Yep.
But for now, it's mainly substitute teaching, and so I can go and compete in 4-way at national competitions and do big way world records and
So
things
tell
like that.
us more about this. And you indicated before that there's been some world record attempts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
So I actually did my skydiving course because a student actually said to me, "Hey miss, will you come do skydiving, because everyone's broke or they're too scared." And I was known as a more adventurous sort of teacher, like traveled a lot by myself and whatnot. So I went and did it, and then signed up to do the course. So that was in my 8th year of teaching.
So you did it with a student?
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
like both tandem in the plane.
Oh,
and
that
yeah.
is so cool.
Yeah, and her parents, I knew them obviously
Yeah.
from outside of things, so they were all on the beach like, woo!
Yeah.
And then I sort of just thought it was, pitching a parachute and landing, but then I found out about competition, and so then slowly I've done 4-way competition. So for the last 5 years I've been competing every year at nationals. And pretty much what happens, as soon as you exit a plane, you have 35 seconds to do this draw that they've done. So there's lots of different movements that they give you to complete, and every draw is different every year for every competition. You get the same sort of basic ones. And then the big wave formations. So my goal in 2019 was to get on the Australian record, which is 130 people, and I got on it. So that was only 2 years after I started skydiving. So
That's
I worked
amazing.
hard. And then last year I finally got to get onto my first world record, which was the 108-way 3-point total break sequential, which is like 108 build one formation, a key's given, everyone drops grips, moves to a new formation, and then another key's given and goes to the third formation, and we do that all in one jump.
Oh my
So
gosh.
getting, like, sometimes you think having 2 or 3 people together getting points, imagine 108 joining up together, and that was in Arizona last year in October. So I
Wow.
was very lucky to be part of that.
Wow.
Sounds like you've worked pretty hard. So what does working hard as a skydiver, what does that entail?
Training here at iFly, so
Yep.
getting there, because a minute in here is like a minute free fall. So you do 10 minutes, it's equivalent of training for 10 skydives.
Yes.
I go overseas a bit to train and do their camps and events, so it keeps me current.
Yep.
And yeah, with the girls, like when we're the Bellas, so we're all female Australian team, so we go out on the weekends. We aim for 1 weekend a month to go out and just jump as many times as possible to train. So that's how we do it. I mean, we're all in STEM, the girls on the team. So like one's a speech pathologist, one's a volcanologist, one's a professor in autism. So we're all quite in the field, and managing time frames for training is a bit different. But I guess the beautiful thing about being here at iFly is I get to combine science education and skydiving.
You're absolutely
So
living both of your passions and bringing it all together.
Yes, and they give me a lot of freedom as well with designing the program. Like, I think when I first approached them 3 years ago, I said, "Hey, would you like a science educator? Here's my skydiving, here's my teaching," and they're like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
I think for me, you know, it's hard enough for teachers these days with all the planning and everything. It's like I created an excursion where the risk assessments are done. Here's where everything is. Here's the evacuation plans. It's got all the documents. And it has all the curriculum links, so you can go to your principal and be like, here we go. Boom, boom, CARA standards, risk assess, evacuation plan, all this stuff. And it just gives a guideline step by step for parents so they can complete the waiver. So you would know, like, if they don't know, so it's step by step, so every parent can do it beforehand. I've made it as easy as I possibly can for teachers to have an awesome excursion for their kids, and they will always remember this experience.
Great. It's so important. Anything we can do to make the job of teachers easier, particularly if it's going to help them have an experience like iFly. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Really, really cool. Love it.
And what we know about kids and their learning is that you need, I talk about science of learning all the time, so you need 24 to 40 repetitions of something, or you need to have that big experience. And we love, so inquiry education is great, but we often don't have time for inquiry pedagogy because it takes so long. But if they have that really great experience where all of those learnings have all been pulled into one umbrella, that is equivalent to that 24 to 40 multiple exposures. Absolutely. And they'll learn something for life, which is super cool that you're doing something here. We got to experience it this morning, and it is wild. It is a really cool experience. Neither of us have ever skydived, and my brave husband has. So it's the free fall moment. It's not the being brave, being strapped in, going up in the plane, stepping out of the plane. But that free fall is the big euphoric thing as well, and it was super fun. I did do a little bit of a dribble, if I'm being honest.
It happens.
Yeah,
that's all right. That's all right.
But I was smiling so much, so you really got to keep your mouth closed, otherwise you can get a little bit escaping.
It's true. I saw you wipe away and then high five.
Yeah, I did. I high fived,
which was really nice. Really nice. Oh. Now, obviously, there's a lot of science with the falling of things, but we had a bit of an argument. You did mention about engineering as well. I know that there are fans in the roof and it's sucking up.
Yeah.
Is that air cycled?
Yes.
Is it
so
cyclical? Or is
the structure of the whole building, and this is one thing when we teach about the engineering, this whole building is used in the design. So on the outside you might see a square, but it goes through the whole, like the tube and up through the wind vanes and everything like that. So we actually get students to think about where are they, and then we have a diagram that actually shows them all these features that iFly engineers actually designed to have the most efficient design for these tunnels. And it's really unreal to see kids be like, what, they're at the top? Like, and even like teachers, they're loving it. Like we've done and we're folding out like PDs for teachers to see how to teach physical sciences in a different way and how we do it in iFly, and here's some tools for you to do, and we give them a free flight experience. So each location, Brisbane, Melbourne and Perth, will be having professional development nights. We call them just free, it's free. So 2 hours you'll get your PD certificate and everything. I know, so so look out on your Facebook groups and things like that, because I mean up here in Queensland we have nice discussion boards. I don't know about in other locations. I've found it really hard to find like groups other than on Facebook for teachers to sort of discuss
advertise
ideas. And like this is just come in and do a PD. It's no pressure to book a STEM, but you'll want to after.
Absolutely. Well, we talked obviously beforehand about bringing the kids here, but Mastery kids are definitely going to be coming here. They need to have this experience, which is great. All right, so we do a thing on the podcast. Last year we played the alphabet game, and Will did not have a single win all year. So we're...
Part of that was because you were scoring, to be honest.
New year.
New opportunities, Mr. White. So we're actually going to be playing a different game. I think we just decided we were calling it the Great Quiz, or something really boring like that. So we're going to have a new name, but this is how it goes. What you're going to do is I'm going to be
to me as well.
I'll be asking a question, and so you don't have to yell out your answer now. You're thinking of the number or whatever you believe your answer is, and the person who's closest to the answer is going to be the winner.
Is it a high or lower situation?
No, I'm going to keeping the high low. It's just the closest.
All right. Okay.
All right. Willing to play?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. The first question is. See, how's it ever been able to sit beside me and cheat before?
Cheating already.
All right.
I've never won one. I want to win one.
What was the first year, what year was it when the first skydiving occurred when somebody survived?
All right.
So
Do I have to go first?
No, well,
Is
you're
that just the way it works?
thinking of your answer.
Okay.
Thinking of your answer.
Where someone survived.
So they survived, yes.
Okay.
We only want to talk about the wins.
Only talk about this. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's good.
All right.
I haven't-
Remember, it doesn't have to be bang on. You just
Okay.
it's around about when. All right.
All right.
Whitey's going first, so you may want to change your answer to be able to have a win. When was it?
1868.
1868.
Yes.
Excellent.
Do you want me to tell you why I think
Go
so?
on,
Or just
justify it. Yeah, go.
justify it? Obviously, that was before the invention of planes, but I think people might have jumped out of balloons.
Okay. Interesting. Excellent. So 1868.
Yes,
Excellent.
1860.
What is your answer?
I'm going to go 1890 because I think
Oh,
it might be a bit closer to like the wars. Like I know there were paratroopers, but I know I was thinking the same thing because I was like,
Okay, good.
because there's designs from Da Vinci that he looking at flying machines, but I'm like they're more flying than parachuting. So I was like, I really should know this, shouldn't
Well,
I?
there you go. So you're gonna know.
I'm
you're gonna know this after this.
1890.
All right.
Yeah.
1868. Well, it's going to surprise both of you to
Oh.
hear that it was in 1797.
1797.
Where the first person to ever go parachuting was actually the inventor of the parachute, Andre Jacques Gagarin. Don't hold me to that. The French inventor and balloonist was the first person to successfully jump out of a frameless parachute, and it was attached to, attached to a gondola in 1797 in Paris after the contraption was lifted into the sky via a hot air balloon.
Wow.
Well, you won that one.
What?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
know.
Yeah. But it is best of three, so
Okay.
That's a free.
yeah.
I
All
have
right.
been in this position before and
Yeah.
lost it.
All right.
Sorry.
Exactly. All right. When was the first vertical wind tunnel built?
First vertical wind tunnel
Yep.
was built
Yep.
in 1956, and it was in 1956. That's all I've
Perfect.
got.
That's all you got.
I have no basis of
So
understanding
really,
or
you're
knowledge.
deciding whether it was in 1957 or 1955.
I know.
Before or after that,
You
do you
said
think?
vertical because I know they would have had horizontal to test out these. All right, I'll go up. So 1957.
Well, once again, I'm as shocked as you.
Yeah.
What is having his first win here? Because it was actually built in 1940. So that's in the Second World War.
Wow.
NASA got going on that. First ever vertical wind tunnel on record is a 20-foot vertical spin tunnel constructed at the NASA Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia. It was completed in 1940. Wind tunnel had a top speed of approximately 58 miles per hour, which was too slow for human flight.
Yep.
But that technology opened the door for the burly beast that we enjoy today. So
Wow.
there you go.
Wow.
You
Very
won.
good. That's
I don't,
Well done.
first time.
you're trying out success.
I know.
How does that feel in your stomach? Does it feel good?
I'm going to do some research.
There you go. All right, so finish off with us with what are some of the opportunities that people can engage in? We've talked about the PD, so they can go to iFly. I'm assuming, how do they find out a bit about those professional developments?
So I have links with Stawa, StavCon, like I'll be at the FizCon in February down in Victoria.
Beautiful.
You can look online and inquire with that. You can look at our STEM activities. All the materials are up on there for you to have a little gaze. But if you want something particular, just contact me, K Hicks, so KHICKS at iflyworld.com.
Beautiful.
And yeah, look out for me at some conferences coming around, and I travel around doing a lot of different things. So I try to, every time I go to a conference, open up for meal nights. So look out I'll be trying to join as many Facebook groups as possible. If you know
Follow us
and
put
absolutely.
everything up.
We'll put it up there. I'll let you know
Great.
some dates so you can share the links,
Perfect.
and we'll have Eventbrite links as well. So look up around there. You can find the information on the STAR portal that has all the STEM excursions with that, so you can look us up on there as well. So
wonderful, wonderful,
Brilliant.
wonderful. So it's khicks@iflyworld.com, and she'll answer all of your questions. And I would also just recommend getting a group of friends together and just come and have a fly, because that was fun. They get you to come earlier, so you get to watch other people doing it as well, and just step out of your comfort zone a little bit. It's not that big jumping out of an airplane, stepping out of your comfort zone insanely, but that was super fun. Great way to spend the day.
Brilliant.
So good. The fun thing at the end of all of the jumps is that your instructor then jumps in and does some crazy demo, just defying gravity. It is so cool.
My goodness, it was amazing.
It was good fun.
Amazing.
Yeah. How do people get in contact with us, Mr. White?
They go to our website.
We don't have a website.
Not our website. Our email address. They got our email.
He's all flustered in one. He's like, I can't think
I
straight
don't know
now.
what to do. Which is Teachers Change Lives podcast@gmail.com.
Well done.
Well done.
It's only taken a year.
Yeah.
It's only taken
Yeah.
a year, and
Yeah.
I've memorised it.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Facebook, or any of the other.
Yeah,
what do you call
Instagram.
it?
You can find us on the
Socials.
YouTube. You can find us
YouTube.
on the TikTok occasionally as well.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But it's so wonderful to be back for 2024, and hello to all of those teachers out there, and you are doing the best work out of all of the professions. So
You are.
yeah.
You are.
Well done.
Awesome. All right, Kristina, you're a legend. Thank you so much for us
Thank you.
putting you on the spot
Oh, no
and
worries.
seizing the moment with us.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work. My kids will be seeing you very soon.
Excellent.
Great.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
All right. See you guys.
See ya. How cool's that? What a
What a
gig.
story.
What a gig. What a story. Oh,
Yep.
it's amazing. And it goes to show that teachers are all around us. They're not just in the classrooms, are they? They're everywhere.
Absolutely true.
They're
And
everywhere.
I can't right now because I love to talk about teaching and I feel obliged to talk about teaching, probably because of this podcast as well. And they're everywhere. We go to basketball and the teachers and the principals and the school administration staff just seemingly emerge from the crowd. And I'm like, everywhere I go, I get to have an amazing conversation with somebody who works in a school, which is super cool. But her story, imagine only doing skydiving for 2 years and then going for a world record attempt and being asked to be involved in something like that.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
The control and the understanding of the dynamics and everything that you'd need to have at that point. And to have, with other people as well, I'd just be so nervous. I'd stuff it up.
And I love that her very first jump happened because a student asked her to go
how
and
good's
skydive
that?
with her. Yeah, there
Isn't
you
that
go.
amazing?
Put her on this path.
What a teacher. What a
Yeah.
teacher. And just because, she wasn't in the classroom then, but not now, like she's still an amazing teacher.
Yeah.
The curricula that she had created wasn't just for the science of falling, but it was also for engineering, as we touched on.
Yeah.
And the turbines and the
Yeah.
way the turbines work.
Yeah.
I find that stuff absolutely fascinating. And I'm looking forward to booking myself into one of those sessions. As
And
an
those
English
PDs,
teacher.
they have professional developments for teachers.
Yeah.
So get involved in that. Look out for that. And also, if you can get your kids to one of those
Those centres.
iFly places, centres in Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth, I believe, were the three that are available. You need to get yourself there and get those kids there so they can have a mind-blowing experience like we got to have.
It is serious fun. And what was really cool after our flight is our instructor brought in some toys.
Yep.
So there was like a basketball. There was one of those things you throw and they whistle.
A vortex.
A vortex.
Yeah.
And they were all really cool. And she was having, playing with them and they're all falling differently. And you can actually see them falling right in front of you and they're not moving. It is really, really interesting. But the coolest thing was they turned out the lights in the center. All the lights were out. And then we all went in to the thing. What do you call it? The tube.
The tube, yep.
And I think it was you, wasn't it, Shaz? You
Yeah,
had
I
the
got
water
to-
bottle
yeah.
and you got to pour the water bottle out. There's water all around us in these little droplets. It was like
Yeah.
standing in the middle of a cloud.
It was crazy.
It was amazing. And all these droplets are falling. Like, for all intents and purposes, they're falling.
Yeah.
But you're standing there looking at them statically. It was.
Yeah, like they're like falling in slow-mo. Yeah, and so you could like that.
So
You could kind
cool.
of have enough time to get your mouth underneath a droplet, and then
Yeah.
So cool.
It was so cool. Highly recommended for those teachers out there looking for an activity for your students to engage them in, STEM stuff, absolutely, but also just for having fun. I mean, it is fun. There's a lot you can learn, absolutely, but gee, it was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a good little adrenaline rush, and a little bit of learning sprinkled in there. Well, quite a bit of learning sprinkled in there as well.
Yes, I appreciated when you said, when you were laughing and smiling so much that you were dribbling all over your face. You wiped your face, you came out, and because everyone high fives, you then went to high five with your dirty hand everyone up the line. We've moved on from COVID, haven't we?
Yes, well, apparently, or I just kicked off the next epidemic. So my apologies to everyone who were in the tube with us that day. I definitely spread the love, but I was having an absolute ball.
Oh, good.
All right, Mr. White, how do people get involved in this show? We would love to be doing some interviews with some fellow teachers. How can they reach out to us?
So in the past, we've had a lot of people on from all sorts of different areas, mostly a lot of them specialised. We want to get to know you, the classroom teacher. So it's just a chinwag, just have a chat. Tell us about what you find works for you. Tell us about the challenges you've had, any awesome stories or funny stories. We've all got them. Come on and share with us. You can drop us a line on Teachers Change Lives podcast at gmail.com. Or all of our socials. And once again, I did have to concentrate on that address, but I nailed it.
You are getting better and better every time. You should be very proud, Mr. White. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
That's great. Thanks, Kristina Hicks. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Shaz. Bye.
Powered by Riverside.